Business, as you know, is one of our major themes. And whether one is starting an enterprise or growing one, a firm grasp of marketing is vital. Despite sounding familiar, that management function is often misunderstood. When some think about marketing, promotions probably come to mind. But there is a well-known marketing framework that reminds us that marketing is broader in scope. It covers the product itself, pricing strategies, place or distribution and points of sale, and finally promotions, which is about connecting with customers. Because marketing is practiced in the real world, we often inject politics in the mix. But our discussion will have to go even beyond that, venturing into the changes unraveling in a new age known for the disruption caused by rapid technological change. So for our discussion, we have two members of the Philippine Marketing Association, or PMA. Its vision is to be the catalyst and advocate of world-class marketing practices in business, industry, and academe here in the Philippines and elsewhere. Leah Marie Ayeng is the General Manager of Prestige Quality Paper Products. She held positions in sales and marketing for over 20 years. In 2022, she received the Outstanding Member of the Year award in PMA, and this year she won the AMF Asia Youth Women Netizen Marketing Excellence Awards for the category of Asia's Top Outstanding Women Marketeer of the Year. Bryan Lato is currently the PMA President. He co-founded multiple startups and specializes in digital marketing, creative services, and restaurant management. He also serves as a strategic business development director for a group of companies with diverse interests that include manpower outsourcing, resort management, and commercial property management. We'll ask them about the respective businesses, but our main focus will be how is marketing evolving and how can Filipino managers stay ahead of the game. Ms. Ayeng, Mr. Lato, thank you for making time for Business and Politics. May I call you Leah and Bryan?
Short link.
Okay. Well, again, thank you for making time for Business and Politics.
It's an absolute pleasure. Yes.
Okay. So I visited your website and I saw this term Metaverse Marketing, and it's something that your organization is promoting. Definitely you're talking about it. But for those who are not so updated with the trends, what is it? What is Metaverse? We've heard of Metaverse, but now you've attached marketing to it. So what's Metaverse Marketing?
All right. So when we were thinking about the theme of the Philippine Marketing Association, as we are the thought leader when it comes to new and emerging technologies, we thought of streamlining and focusing on one aspect of blockchain.
Okay.
Which is more relatable, which is the Metaverse Marketing.
Okay.
Metaverse Marketing is actually defined as a three-dimensional or a dimension that is different.
Virtual reality.
Virtual reality, or there are several applications of it. It could be a whole 3D rendered world,
okay,
or it could be an extended reality,
okay,
whereas there's the real world, but there's an overlay of digital asset.
I see.
So when we were thinking about it, the consumers are getting younger and younger, the Gen Zs, and now we have the Gen Alpha. They are the ones who are native when it comes to internet. So they're demanding for more gamifications when it comes to marketing strategies and applications. That's why when we thought of it, all right, I think we have the perfect theme for this year, which is Metaverse Marketing. That's
so interesting. I didn't realize there's a Generation Alpha already. I'm so far away from the current generation. You were chair of the youth, right?
Academe.
So how is this being, is it being introduced, or are they already doing it? And that your PMA is doing something more formal, or what's the intersection there between PMA and Metaverse Marketing?
In the Youth and Academic League, what we actually do is to reinforce. Because these kids actually know Metaverse already.
They know gaming, they know
gaming,
technology.
they know technology, they know AI. Yeah. But what we do is that we invite speakers,
okay,
we invite thought leaders to make them more aware and to become responsible in terms of usage.
Yeah. And so this had to do with the recent PMA conference, right? I mean,
yeah, we will be holding a strategic marketing conference for students, and one of the topic actually is Metaverse.
Metaverse Marketing. Yeah. I see. Now, I'm just a little fuzzy about blockchain, because as I understand, blockchain is like a digital ledger. How does that fit into Metaverse Marketing?
Well, actually, blockchain is a crucial part of the metaverse because it
Okay.
enables the ecosystem. Because it's a
Okay.
digital ledger that makes it what they call this, fraud-free. Because everybody can access to
I see,
it,
okay.
so everybody can create digital assets, create marketing assets, which sometimes they call it NFTs. The non-fungible tokens, which are that would enable the marketing in the metaverse, or
I see.
probably it's just the most famous term, but there are really a lot of
Right.
applications.
So when I hear blockchain, I think about cryptocurrency. So I didn't realize there's so many applications.
Correct.
Right. So how far are we from metaverse marketing? Is this a dream, or is this something that's going to happen soon? And where will we see it? Will we see this in retail? Will we see it in maybe sampling paper products? Will we see it in maybe somewhere else?
Well, actually, our dream is to become the Asia's blockchain capital.
Okay.
And so we are reinforcing the industry to adapt.
Okay.
And recently we had the second blockchain week.
There's the Philippine Blockchain
Blockchain.
Week held by the Blockchain Council of the Philippines,
I see.
which our former President Donald Lim started.
Okay. Yeah,
He's
I
a
know
former
Donald,
PMA
yeah.
president. He's actually the youngest PMA president.
That makes
to be.
me feel bad because I'm older than Donald. Okay.
And he's the third.
I'm the
youngest.
third youngest. The second youngest is Josiah Go.
Okay, Josiah Go, yes.
So the pressure is on me to that destination of me. But going back to your question,
Yeah.
yes.
How far are we from?
It's actually not far.
Okay.
You can see Apple already introduced their Apple Vision, which is a headset. But we did market research together with Synergy,
Okay.
market research and YouGov.
Okay.
We see that the adoption of Metaverse would start with smartphones. So if you would like
That's
to
interesting.
activate let's say it's more of what makes sense is more of the extended reality
Yeah.
or the augmented reality, the AR,
Right.
where it is there's a digital overlay in the real world.
Right. Like a
And
Pokemon,
yes, like a Pokemon
Yeah.
Go. That's the perfect example. We see that if brands would integrate AR experience into an app
Yeah.
or their camera phones, it's not really far. The earlier adoption would be using the smartphones because the headsets are pretty much bulky.
Right.
The gears are still bulky and much more expensive.
Right.
But the early adoption that we see, 79% of the nationwide study that we did, is that smartphones would be the best way to go when it comes to metaverse marketing. So we are not really far. Probably next year, brands would be integrating personalized AR campaigns.
Especially for the retail.
Yes, correct. Especially
retail.
for the retail. When you enter a coffee shop, there's a QR code. You just place the
Okay.
camera there and a character pop up. Welcome, Bryan, to that coffee
Whatever
shop.
coffee shop.
Yeah, whatever coffee shop that is.
Yeah.
And soon to banking.
Soon to banking, and the same time, even out-of-door advertising,
Right.
OOH. So that's why we, as PMA, we want the Filipinos or our Filipino marketers to be on top of this. We need to be knowledgeable on how
Sure.
to execute this, especially
Sure.
when we do our market research. It really pops out on our market research, which is the basis of the marketing strategies that we're going to implement in respective companies.
Right. So where does AI come in here? Is that, again, mind you, I'm not a techie, right? So you explained blockchain to me and how there's application for that in metaverse marketing. Where does AI come to the picture?
To be honest, Metaverse was the hot term last year.
Okay.
This year is
It's
about
AI.
AI.
Okay.
I was talking to some of our colleagues in the Blockchain Council, and they were telling me that we fast track. Our data is already 2049 of some
Okay.
sorts, because during the pandemic, we were inputting data. We were teaching
I
the
see.
AI
I
so
see.
much.
I
That's
see.
why it was able to, I believe ChatGPT was not supposed to be launched this year, but because of that data that we inputted, they were able to launch it this year. So AI comes to place when it comes to automation, when it comes to
Services.
when it comes to chatbots.
And it's here. It's actually
It's here. We're using it.
Yeah, we use it all the time. Right?
Correct. In your Google search or in your Siri or your
banking apps.
banking
So,
apps.
give me a little leeway here. So, would it be correct to say or to describe it that Metaverse is like the platform, and AI now is the tool that helps you figure out what to put on that platform? Is that, or to analyze your behavior on that platform? Is that the right way to?
That could be
Okay.
one application of
good.
AI.
So I'm not so outdated.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. You are right, because with AI, marketers are able to understand the
Okay.
usage or the attitude of the online consumers without going through the data.
Because of the algorithm.
Correct, the
Right,
algorithm that it's creating a report for us instantaneously.
It's supposed to make us more efficient, actually,
Right.
if we use it the right way.
Correct.
I see. So, what are the experts telling you, your resource persons? Are we seeing now, as they predicted before, the end of the brick and mortar stores? Everything will be virtual, or do you think moving forward there will be a mix? And how will that mix
Well,
look
actually,
like? You think?
we call it still an omni-channel.
Omni-channel.
Wherein there
What does
has
that
to be
mean?
a combination.
Combination.
Of the brick and mortar and
Okay.
the online world.
Okay.
So you need to be both effective on both channels in
Okay.
order for you to sell more.
Okay.
Because if you only, because we are also advocating on the digital.
Yes, digital. Physical, digital.
So
Physical
when you
and
terms,
digital.
my head is swirling. Digital, all right.
I'd like to pick up on Leah's omni-channel. It has to be integrated. You know,
Okay.
the Filipinos would still love to touch,
Sure,
to feel, to
sure.
try and all. But sometimes they don't buy right away. Or sometimes they might see it online and they'd like to go in the store to buy it.
Sure.
So if it's omni-channel.
Well, that's happening also. That's already happening in the U.S. and Europe, I think. But I just want to tie it in with something that happened recently. You know, GMA7 had this launch of avatars, so digital newsreaders. Are we going to be affected in our industry? I mean, a version
gonna
of this,
replace that.
a version of this interview in the future with you guys maybe will not be with a person like me, but with an AI generated host. Is that the future, you think?
All right. This is just my personal perception. We're just discussing things, right? I believe they just failed to communicate that it was just a tool, an addition.
No, we
right?
get that. But do you think that's where we're headed?
Most likely, we but there are still things that we cannot figure out when it comes to AI. The emotions, the slangs, the AI wouldn't understand these new terminologies because our language keeps on evolving.
No, because you mentioned the coffee shop, right? Somebody virtual appears to welcome you, and similar to what GMA7, they could be just following a script, or is it? In your opinion, in your view, something much more advanced, someone who could actually have a conversation with you like what we're doing.
There are 4 types of AI, and I believe that is the destination.
Okay.
That is the destination. But right now, the 2 types of AI, which is accepting inputs and all, we're still right there. And I think it will take a long time before the AI would be able to feel, understand further. It needs further teaching. But in the end of the day, similar to when we were migrating from kalesas to car, right? The technology is something that we cannot prevent. Change is constant, so we have to adapt. As far as I'm concerned, if there are jobs that would be lost, definitely there are new jobs like AI prompters,
sunrise,
AI engineers, and so many things, and it keeps on evolving. But I don't see it. For me, I don't see it in the future that it would be self-reliant without a human intervention.
No, I'm just curious about what you guys are seeing from your profession, from as marketing professionals, right? Whether it's something that you are interested in because it's developing, or is it something that you're already preparing for because the technology is here, the applications are clear, and you see a benefit to using it?
Well, actually, it's like the same as Google when we first introduced it.
Okay.
A lot of, especially the education, the academe is very adamant in
Sure.
terms of, because it might probably replace the library, but it made us, more. It made our students more actually efficient, and they get to have more resources. So we are more of preparing for this technology.
Yeah.
In the creatives industry, it's still hard for AI to adopt. So I feel in the events management, yes, it could write the script, but it cannot execute the events
So
proper.
it can have a conversation.
Yes, can
Yes.
have the conversation, the creativity. It needs human intervention, but it helped us.
It
I
could
mean,
probably just complement.
correct, it complemented. But yes, of course, we are preparing, and the innovations, actually, we welcome these innovations, and we have to learn how to navigate through it as marketers, because it's really inevitable.
Right.
Yeah.
So as marketers, and we have to go to a quick break, you see it as a ready tool or a tool ready for use in the Philippines.
Yes.
Yes.